In this episode of Crystal Uncorked, I am not preparing. I have an idea of something I want to talk about, something I've been thinking about a lot lately. And usually when I do my solo episodes, I will spend some time outlining and really thinking about what it is that I want to share on the show and just spend a little bit more time preparing. And I recently heard that through spontaneity creates creativity. And I just feel, I so agree with that. I feel like when you're just in the moment and you're called to talk about something, it can actually turn into something quite magical, even better than if you scripted it or prepared for it. So let's see how this episode goes. Let's dive in. Are you ready to open up and talk about all things business? I'm Crystal Vilkaitis, a curious entrepreneur who loves talking about business, especially over a glass of wine. I started Crystal Uncorked to share open and honest conversations about my journey and talk to other entrepreneurs about their experiences. We pull back the curtain and talk about the highs and the lows. Wine isn't required, but is recommended. This is Crystal Uncorked. All right, before we dive into today's spontaneous episode, I wanted to read just a very short email I got from a listener, Liz. I got so many people reaching out about my costume story for the Halloween episode. It went out the week before Halloween, and I shared a really funny costume story. And Liz said, I have to say, I loved your Halloween costume story. It is so true. When we embrace ourselves, we shine the most. And I love that she said that. So if you haven't listened to that episode, I'll link to it. Go check it out. Got some fun feedback. It's a pretty funny story, but also a great episode on why you just got to be you. Okay. And speaking of being you, I shared in the intro that I just wanted to get on here and talk about something that has really been coming up a lot for me lately. And in a way, I don't have like all the details figured out on this one, but it's just something that I really wanted to talk about and something I've been thinking about a lot lately. I feel like I've learned a massive lesson, and it's definitely costed me some resources, some time and money. So this year, I have invested a lot in masterminds and coaching and just like professional development through all sorts of different ways, a total of $57,000. Now, three of those programs that equal a total of 24,000 haven't started yet. So I'm anxious to see, I have the commitment and you're kind of in this holding pattern until you actually like start the program to see what kind of results you'll get and what you learn and all of that. I'm very aware that like when you spend money on coaching, you don't always see like, okay, I spent a dollar and I got $10 back in 10 weeks. Like it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes you learn things that come into play later on, weeks later, months later, years later. Sometimes you learn things that are priceless as well. So, but one thing that I've been really focusing on is, okay, I've spent $57,000 is not a small amount of money, in my opinion, if for me, where I am in my financial journey. And I really just invested in myself this year. And I think part of that was I was really searching for answers. I was trying to figure out what it is I need to do. Like I felt like I was missing something. I'm missing the answer, the path, the skill set. Like I just have been on this search for like, I just am so hungry to find this answer to what I'm lacking and what I need to really scale my business and for me to feel more in flow and more in alignment with what it is I do on a day-to-day basis and how to get more in flow with where I see myself going. And so I spend this money like just trying to get these answers. And a big thing that I learned that just like hit me on the side of the head recently was, I've been going through the webinars. I've been playing all full out, as they say. I mean, I guess I could have showed up even more. These coaching programs and masterminds, like they've got live trainings you can go to that are all online. They've got live events. Some of them have live events you can go to. Some of them have Facebook groups and you can participate in the community stuff. Some of them have homework that you have to do and you can submit the homework. So like I've been doing my best. I listen to the recordings. I go live as much as I can. I often go to a lot of live streaming events with these different groups that I'm in, and I'm learning and I'm doing the homework and taking the notes and writing a ton of notes and ideas and all these things. But every single call that I'm on, there's just always something where it's like, I know this already. I know this already. I teach this. I know this already. And there's two sides of that. One is something that I teach to my members, my retailers, is if you're in a room and I'm teaching you something and I say something that you've already heard, you already know, and you think, oh, I know this already. I don't want you to think, oh, I know this already. I want you to think, what are we doing with this information? How am I using this? Am I using it the way that we're talking about it? Can I tweak it? Is there something more that I need to know? You become curious, right? One of my favorite words. You become curious about those things that are being said. You don't just shut it down like, I know this already. And so that is something that I've been asking. I'll write down the same thing that you can find in so many of my journals that I've written down, but nothing has changed. So it's like, well, why hasn't anything changed? Why hasn't this gotten done? Like asking deeper questions. And so if you're ever in like a learning environment and that comes up for you, that's a really good way to switch your mindset to get more out of what you're learning. What else do I need to know about this? Okay, get curious. It's going to help you get more out of that. But there's a second part of this that I feel like, which is there does come a time where you need to trust yourself. And I've heard certain things so many times from so many people, and I'm not trusting the advice, and I'm not trusting myself that I'm able and capable to do what I need to do to take a step forward. And one of those things that has kind of been talked about on the show with my episode with Paul De La Garza a few weeks ago was just like, get in the car and drive. You don't have to know the destination. Stop trying to speed it up. Be patient. Film the episodes of Crystal Uncorked. Like for me, I really want to know where I'm going with this show. I have these moments of like, gosh, should I be doing this? Should I stop? It's a lot of work. I spend money to produce this show. I don't have sponsors. I'm not making money from this show. And I'm like, where am I going? What am I doing? I know I like doing this. I get good feedback, but what the fuck am I doing? And you need to know. I feel like I need to know in order to keep me going, keep building the momentum, keep it going, because in those times where you're tired or you have so much to do, it's hard to like get on here and record an episode and just do what you need to do to promote the show. It's a lot of work. But so many people, and I feel it. I feel it when I do my meditations, when I'm journaling. It's just this element of like, just keep going. Don't know where you need to go. Just keep doing. Just keep producing. You can't even imagine what's going to happen. So you just have to keep creating. Stop trying to control it. Trust the process and trust yourself. And there comes a point where you do have to really just listen to yourself and your inner guidance and your inner knowing of like, with this information that I'm hearing, that I know already, what am I going to do with this information? And I learned that with a few different things, I have to just trust that I am making the right decisions for my life and for my business. And what I'm finding is I don't know if I've like fully trusted myself over these years. And I think that I have been, and I don't even know if it's like a trust thing or if it's that I've just been searching to know the destination and to have all the answers and have it be all perfect and exactly how it's supposed to be, wrapped up in a beautiful bow, and my life is all figured out for me, that I've been focusing so much on that I'm missing like the deeper, like what my heart wants and what I am desiring, and to listen and to go within and then trust what she's saying and follow those steps. because I have been consuming all of this content and spending tens of thousands of dollars on this coaching and this content and consuming. And then I'm stressed out because I feel like I have no time to actually create. And I'm like, again, what do I want? Hearing what all these people are saying and what everybody else is telling me to do, but what is it that I want? And I do this too. Like I listen to podcasts every morning on my walk. I listen to podcasts or books when I'm getting ready for work, doing my makeup and getting ready. When I'm driving, I listen to podcasts and books. And then I'm in all these coaching programs. So I'm consuming so much content from so many people every single day. And I think there are seasons and days where that's like, great, just open up, bring it in. And I think that there are times when you need to shut it off and go within and really reflect. And I really feel like for years, I have shut myself off. I haven't gone in. I haven't asked the questions to me and then shut up and listen and then shut everything else up and listen to myself. I get so caught up in other people's results, other people's successes. It does motivate me. It helps create drive for me. But then I'm getting in the fucking car, driving somewhere to somebody else's destination. And then as I'm along the way, I'm like, well, I don't really like this ride. How did I even end up? Why am I driving this car? I wouldn't have never picked this car. But I just saw like one destination that sounds great. So I'm going to get in that car and start driving. And I realized like, that's not even what my heart wants. It's just what somebody else created. And I'm like, well, I could do that. I think there's an element of like, that's kind of great that, I have the go-getter spirit in the sense of like, I believe that I can create things. I believe I can do things. I do trust that in myself. I believe I can get things done and create. But when you're doing it, when you're creating and it's somebody else's destination and it's somebody else's vision, their goals, and you do create, man, you get tired after a while because you keep showing up at the wrong spot, which is something that Susan Nagin and I talked about on last week's episode. Hiking up that mountain, the wrong mountain, all the energy it took to get up that mountain. You're like, shit, I'm at the wrong mountain. And you got to walk down and go to the other mountain. After you do that time and time again, year after year after year, you get fucking tired. And that's where that burnout comes in, right? And so I had just this major aha through consuming so much fucking content and then sitting here saying, am I getting $30,000 of value out of this one program that I'm in? Am I seeing $30,000 of value? And I'm consuming. And then all of a sudden, it's just like, as you hear more of the things that they're saying, it's like, I know this. What am I doing about it? What that my heart connects to? And that, like knowing that, figuring that out, to trust myself, listen to myself, be okay with shutting everything else off and just reflecting in and being internal for a little bit. I haven't given myself that for years, if ever, in having this business. Maybe a week off in Maui or something, but like I haven't given myself the time, the space to really be internal and develop what it is that I want and shut everything else up. So that's where I'm at. So I basically am on kind of this like detox. I have not been listening to podcasts. I have not been listening to books. Instead, I don't listen to anything on my walks, or I listen to some music. Music makes me motivated for sure. And it's funny because when you shut off things, your mind just like wanders and you start asking questions about stuff. And for me, I'll start like remembering things because I have a pretty bad memory. Like if I don't write things down, it does not exist. And I move really fast. I'm like a double air sign in Australia. Maybe I am. Who knows? I don't even know what that means. But I'm a double air sign in astrology. I have a lot of air in my chart. And I say double air. I don't even know if that's the right way to say it. My moon and my sun is in air signs. So I move really fast. So I forget a lot, because I'm like on to the next thing. And I feel like when you're consuming people's stuff, it's like all you're filling in is all their stuff, that I forget all my own ideas, all my tasks, all my past, my things that are going on, my thoughts. So when that stuff gets off, I remember better too. So, like I said, this is something I felt like talking about. And so here I am, and I'll keep you updated on my journey. I've found it so far really hard to not consume the content. I think it's a scapegoat. I think it's a way of procrastinating. I think that I'll tune into a webinar because it's like, I'm going to be busy now. I'm going to work. So I'm working, right? Because I feel like I just have to work. So I go to the webinar, I listen to the webinar, I take all these notes. And then afterwards, I feel so drained because I don't want to do any of the notes that I took. It's not at all like what I know I want to do. And then I'm like, well, gosh, now I just wasted 2 hours. I could have done other better things, right? So I think it can be procrastination to like the deeper stuff. And, if I were a therapist, I might ask myself, why are you not going in? Why are you procrastinating listening to yourself? What are you afraid that you'll find? What are you afraid that your heart wants? And gosh, that's a really good question, huh? So I think I need to do some journaling on that one. And because we're uncorked and it's very open and honest conversations here, I'll keep you updated on what it is that I find. What am I afraid of? And why am I procrastinating what I want? It's a very interesting question. So if you're like me or know somebody like me, send this episode to them or tag them. And I hope that somebody listening can relate to this and find this helpful. That sometimes we need to tune out everything else and just really listen to ourselves. I am a believer of investing in yourself and investing in programs. I think that I am getting value out of these things that I'm doing. It just sometimes shows up differently. And I think that's really beautiful. The final thing I'll say is that I think you have to also be careful on who you're investing in and how many programs you're investing in. Cause I'm in like 5 different things right now and it's way too much. It's way too much. Pick 1 or 2 things that's really right with where you are. That's a really aligned teacher and coach. And then, really focus there and still have that balance of what you need. So I hope that you found something that helped you in this episode. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for listening to this show. Next week is, as I'm filming this, when this drops, this episode next week will be Thanksgiving, and I'll be taking that week off. But I am just incredibly grateful for the people who listen to the show, who follow along on Instagram. I'm Crystal Vilkaitis. It's my name on Instagram. For people who email me, like Liz emailing me about the episode. My friend texted me about an episode that she loved. At this point, that's my currency to keep this show going. Just getting your reviews and seeing the downloads and seeing that people actually listen or watch the show really means a lot to me. And so this Thanksgiving, I'm just incredibly grateful for you listening and being a part of this world. If you have any questions or any topics you want me to cover on the show, please email me. It's cheers@crystaluncorked.com, or you can also DM me on Instagram. I would love to know what you'd like to hear. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I will see you in December. Okay, I'll see you on the next See You. Bye. Hey, real quick, if you are a retail store owner, I would love to see you at Evolve. This is my in-person marketing conference happening April 26th and 27th, 2023 in Denver, Colorado at the Gaylord Rockies, which is a stunning venue. You get to spend 2 days with me and my team and keynote speakers, as well as other retailers looking to evolve their marketing, business, and lives. It's an intimate event. We only have 200 tickets available, and we've already sold a lot of those seats already. So this event will sell out. Do not delay because we have special pricing depending on when you hear this and when you sign up. And I would love to see you in that room. So go to crystalmediaco.com/evolve. That's crystalmediaco.com/evolve to get your ticket. And I would love to see you there. And thank you for listening to this episode. Bye.